Hello and welcome. Well, if you joined us earlier on for quick clears, welcome back. If you didn't, welcome along. I'm Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick as we get things underway. Round 8 in the final round this season of ARA Porsche Cup. Sam, the big one. We just have things set up nicely. A little sorbet to cleanse the palate with, as you will, in the form of Clio Cup. Now it's turn for the Porsche Cup. Ooh, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. Much more up for grabs as well, Sam. Much more up for grabs.
Yeah, this is going to probably come down to the wire for the championships. For the Clios, it was pretty much settled before we approached the Nordschleife, but tonight it is all to play for. And of course, back to our single race format tonight, Tim. It's a little bit different, but it's still pretty much an hour-long race tonight. 7 laps of the Nordschleife, and very unique compared to the Clios is that the drivers were done practice for this race for the 24 hours. The drivers will be more prepared for this race than maybe any other race for the entire season, because many of them will be racing this car on this track for 24 hours over the weekend. And so we might see some drivers really be at the top of their game tonight.
We will. We will do it. This is the precursor, isn't it? The warm-up acts before the big one come this weekend. And good luck to all you that are taking part over the course of the weekend, the iRacing Nürburgring 24-hour special event. Let's take a look at the championship standings, though. Let's have a look at Pro first of all, and, well, as close as you like. Marriott, Madsen, Nold, all on top of the championship, and Sam still incredibly close, 16 points separating our top 3. That's still pretty much up for grabs. Philip Hammer, unless our top 3 completely and utterly crash out and he wins, I think that's just about the only way he can win it.
I think, yeah, if Hammer wins tonight and the rest of them finish outside the top 5, I think that might be enough. But he'd need, yeah, like the 3 of them to have poor rounds. Of course, fascinatingly, like, we had the Pro Championship leader and the Pro-Am Championship leader both absent last time at Silverstone. And so Marriott's lead, which he'd done so well to build up, that fantastic win at Sebring in particular comes to mind. Madsen has been able to cut that down, and of course a decent result at Le Mans, then that dominant performance at Silverstone, probably the most dominant performance we've seen all season long last time out, has catapulted him back into play. His qualifying's been great so far this season. And so it is pretty much a straight fight. I mean, with the point system we've got for this solo race, it is as simple as if one of them wins this race, and as long as they don't pick up any penalties, that will be the championship for them. So it's winner takes all pretty much.
As for Pro-Am, well, Howardus, you taught us. He led for the majority of the season, didn't he, Sam? And, well, there were calls by other drivers to say he should be in Pro. He shouldn't be in Pro-Am. But as the season's worn on, so his form has wavered a bit, and he's just dropped. That lead has been eroded at gradually, like, you know, the sea lapping up against the shore. And now he's at the chance of potentially losing this, isn't he? Yeah,
he scored more points than any other Pro-Am driver for the first 3 rounds of the championship. But like Marriott, he was absent last time at Silverstone, so that's really compromised his form. And then, of course, Quattrup has been in fantastic form. He managed to win out of the Pro-Ams last time out. He's just consistently been up there. Not necessarily like massive performances, but like Le Mans, for example, he was in the lead pack in the top 5 for much of the race. And so, dare I say, I think you can argue that Quattrup has made the favourite for the championship going into this round because he's had those strong results. But we know that Howardus, when he puts the time into the practice, he's up there. But he needs to improve that qualifying because his qualifying in recent rounds have been very poor, and you can't get away with that at the Nordschleife. You need to get a good qualifying in order to stay in play.
So all it takes is one big one near the front. Once you're out onto the Nordschleife, and, well, we've all been there. We've all seen the memes. It can go very wrong very, very quickly. Let's take a look across into Am now. And Ed Eisenring leading the way, the American. And, well, this one a bit harder for Stromari and Seifert to catch up. Will it be? I mean, he's pretty much out of the equation, and Zanon. But a mammoth result for those 2 guys overall, and everyone else in front of them. I mean, but pretty much this is Eisenring's one to lose, isn't it? More so. Yeah,
I think so. It'd need to be like a top 5 or something for one of those other amateurs, which I think if it's going to happen at any round, it's going to be this round. But yeah, realistically, I think Eisenman's got a very, very good chance. He's been in good form throughout the season. I know he's been working really hard in the Apex Racing Academy group sessions, you know, constantly putting in those stats with Michael Yanni, who's the coach for that, and really hammering home those coaching sessions and being able to find a lot of pace with that. So yeah, he's really come on strong as the season has gone on. In the Teams Championship, it is currently Mag Performance leading the way. Of course, Nick Madsen saw the lead driver in that one. Piccolo, also a very strong driver in that team. Impulse Racing have a little bit of an up and down season. I think Costa and Velgut's in that team, if I recall correctly, and they dominated, like you said, at VAR, but haven't really been able to deliver that since. But big points available in the Teams Championship. I think it's up to 240 points tonight you can score in the teams. So, and there's no drop scores as well. So that one's still a little bit like, keep an eye out on those top drivers. But yeah, looking very good for Mag Performance at the moment. They would very much deserve it if they were able to take it.
Oh, they would do indeed. They would do indeed. And well, let's talk about things for tonight, Sam. Of course, I think we all know a lot of the overtaking spots, but unlike the Clios that we had earlier on, they're not going to be limited in terms of the gear ratios. So, you know, a much higher top speed in this car. So I think it's going to be entertaining coming down the Dossinger, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think there's a better chance as well of the drivers being able to break the draft as well, where like if you can really nail a few corners, then you might be able to do it. We wait to see if really anyone's got that advantage, frankly. But we're not going to see... With the Clios, if you were up on the front 3 rows on the grid, I think you had a good chance of being in that front pack.
Oh, definitely.
With this one, because overtake is going to be so tricky on the Nordschleife, you need to be qualifying well. Because if you're outside the top 10, you're just going to spend that entire lap stuck behind slower drivers. Because it just takes one slower driver, and everyone just queues up behind that driver for the entirety of the Nordschleife section. Because, you know, whilst there's some flats out sections, it's not easy to overtake due to the narrowness of the circuit. So one of the most important qualifying of the season, honestly, and it'll be high pressure for the drivers. They have got a 20-minute session for tonight, so 2 laps they can set. And off-jokes aren't too tricky, but to still nail those lap times with how close the lap times I'm sure are going to be, a lot of pressure for the guys going
It's all or nothing, isn't it? Absolutely all or nothing, everything on the line, and then 7 laps of racing to boot. One mistake, race is over, isn't it?
Yeah, and an interesting one as well in terms of the strategy tonight, because 7 laps, even our viewers who did not find Maths and Mason enjoyable subject knows that that's going to be a 4-lap stint and a 3-lap stint because the drivers are limited to 60% fuel. And so do you take that 3-lap stint first or 4-lap stint? 4 laps probably better to take first because you risk pitting early, you might end up in traffic. But maybe you want that undercut on another driver. Maybe you are in traffic already, and so you're going to take that early pit stop to get into clean air. So keep an eye out for that one. I think the vast majority of the front group will just do the 4 laps because they can get that extra lap of draft. It means that they have to take less fuel. But a few drivers further down the order who are a bit out of position, maybe they feel like just throwing the kitchen sink at it, might pit after 3 laps, and that could really alter the strategy quite considerably.
Like being back on Bullseye back in the day, being offered Bully's Prize Board. Do you want to gamble? They'll be gambling.
No,
lost on you. Lost on you. Older viewers know, and British viewers know exactly what I'm on about. But wow, qualifying, that's getting underway right now, isn't it? I think, should we hop across and take a look, see how everyone's getting on? Let's do it. We're going to take a quick break. We will see you on the other side after these lovely partners have showed us about their products with qualifying from the Nürburgring. See you shortly.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome back, and well, we're well into qualifying. A slightly different name at the top of the timing sheet, Sam, in the form of Keanu Bushman of Maniti Racing. Currently a provisional pole sitter. He's got both his laps in. In fact, he's going again here, Sam. He might possibly get another one here. It's going to be tight for him.
I think that might be a glitch. I think it might be where like the drivers grid up in the
well spotted,
or like maybe he resets it. I'm not sure. He's certainly got this extra lap to come, however. So I think there will be improvements as we see my Hazer Harrier going a little bit wide, or not on our screens at least. Yeah, high pressure for the drivers. Bushman with a fantastic lap. And remember, Bushman and Marriott are teammates. They're both part of Manatee Racing. So whilst Madsen is currently up in P2, Bushman is going to try to help Marriott as much as possible. But that's a nice gap. I know that's a long lap and everything. But 1.2 seconds, that's still a good margin. That will, I think, at least put Bushman on the second row of the grid, you would think. But we wait to see what these rest of the drivers can do as Marriott goes onto the Dotzinger Height. You'll be hoping for as good a lap as possible, honestly. But I'm seeing Pascal Costa put in some absolutely exceptional times right now. Also Nicholas Nolder, so watch out for those guys.
Also, Philip Hammer gets set a time, Sam. Actually, in fact, he's had first lap time deleted, I do believe. Furthermore, Nold, Costa, as you mentioned, yet to set decent times. So that top is due to be disrupted. Cope, another one. He's had his first lap time deleted too. He'll be right in that fight. As we see Pascal Costa right now, one of those mentioned drivers whose Tortoise goes up into fourth. He displaces Costa down to fifth. Alane there just drops Costa, inflicting even more pain into Costa. Well, then Costa then sets his time and then goes above Lane. The Seifert displaces for Kramer for 7th place, and there's Marriott ahead of Bushman. Oh, you can tell all the lap times are coming in now, Sam, thick and fast.
Yeah, so we've still got Madsen to set a lap time. I think a few others as well. Costa and Nold are absolutely flying along. They're lighting up the screen purple. Costa and Nold both with very slow first lap times. I think it was deliberate. I think they still counted, but maybe just warming their tyres up, getting them in the right window, and this might work absolutely perfectly for them. So watch out for Costa and Nold. I think they're going to go up into the top 2 positions if they can stick with these lap times. As Thomas Cope goes to the top 7/10 of a second. Our race winner from Brands Hatch. Bushman goes to P2 right now. And what can Nold do as he is approaching the line right now? He goes top, 1.7 seconds clear. It's all down now to Pascal Costa. I think this is going to be pole position.
Darricott, great luck from him. He goes 5th as Costa cuts the timing beam, goes through, and that's your new pole position time. 6/10 quicker than Nold. What a lap, Sam. What a lap from Costa at the depth.
Yeah, really fantastic stuff there from Costa. It was just throughout the lap was brilliant. Nold was actually faster through the middle part of the lap, but Costa delivered right at the start in particular, and then also at the end, the GP section, he was lightning quick, was the Impulse Racing driver. So a little bit of a mixed up grid, honestly, with many of our championship contenders not having a fantastic qualifying. We've got Marriott's in 5th position, Madsen down in 8th. I think that's Madsen's worst qualifying of the season. Your Tortza's up there in 9th, so he's put himself in a good chance. And Albert Quatchup, crucially, who's been in fantastic form in the Pro-Am, 2nd place in the Pro-Am Championship, not getting a lap time in.
Samuel Jordan in there too, Sam. He's had both his lap times deleted. You've got Well, iRacing, our leader currently in the AM Championship, he's third in class with Chris Rance just ahead of him. So Rance is 15th, well, mate, that's 16th now. Eisenring 17th. His Corey Lazarus goes into 12th. And Thorsten Seifert, top AM qualifier, he's whopping 13th. So he's got two pro-ams in between himself in the form of Samuel Bukema and Andrea Del Piccolo in 14th and 15th respectively for those two. And I think that's all that's done and dusted in qualifying, Sam, and taking ourselves through this final grid of the season. And it's an all-German affair here in Germany with Costa and Nold on that front row. Thomas Cope disrupting that top three lockout for Germany with Keanu Bushman starting alongside him on the second row. There's Maxime Marriott and top pro-am qualifier Tim Darricott. What a night it could be for effect. Already picked up a victory earlier on in Clio Cup. Starting from the second row for the pro-am driver. Nick Madsen down in on the fourth row with Philip Hammer. Haridas Utortis as Igor Costa Company on the fifth row. Then Salvatore Lane and Corey Lazarus on row 6. Row 7 sees top AM qualifier Thorsten Seifert start alongside Samuel Burkhamer with Andrea Del Piccolo. Maybe a disappointing qualifying down in 15th. He's got Chris Rance for company. Row 9 sees Ed Eisenring, your AM championship leader, start alongside fellow AM driver Matteo Stromeri, with Pasquale and Zaharia making another AM row in row 10, the grid. Samuel Jordan, he did not set a time, so he's well down in 21st alongside Aldrich Quattrop, who had his lap times deleted as well on row 11. Row 12 sees Espadina and Pahontu next to one another, and then it's Clist and Chalet to round out your 13 row grid, 26 cars.
I don't think this could be set up much better for the Pro Championship, honestly, Tim, because we know that Madsen, whilst he's starting down in 7th place, the guy nearly won Le Mans from 28th on the grid. So that's not going to be too much of a disadvantage for him. He's going to be so pinned on Marriott. The gap between them in the championship is only 6 points going into this round. He can definitely make it up 5 points, apologies, going into this round. He just needs a place or two between the two of them, and he can take this title. Philip Hammer still with a small chance, and of course Nicholas Nolder up there in 2nd place with his teammate alongside him. This could go any which way.
Here come the lights for the last time this season in ARA Porsche Cup, as we are green and we are away racing here from the Nürburgring in Germany. Round 8 of the championship, and Costa leading the way and shutting the door, getting down low, getting to that inside line. Cope's dropped 2 places off the start. He's falling back through as they all shuffle around, and a bit of a mistake there. And that's Bushman, isn't it?
Yeah, Bushman had an amazing launch off the line, much better than Marriott, but Marriott's now the one gaining places. He might be up into 3rd position by the time they reach turn 3. Poor start for Bushman, of course, and a good start for Nick Madsen as well. He's on the back, but can he make this move here? Marriott, no, I think Cope is going to be able to stay ahead. This is crucial for the championship. Cope will have the inside for Dunlop Curve, and now Marriott's got to keep his mirrors full of Nick Madsen. Top 2 in the championship, as Noel, 3rd place in the championship, tries to sprint away up ahead. Disappointing
start for Igor Koss as well. He's dropped 4 places down to 14th. Not the start he was hoping for whatsoever. It's a look back from Cope. That is Marriott tucked up right behind us. Then Madsen and Bushman. Darricott, he's dropped 1 place down to 7th, but still leading Pro-Am, and Seifert still leading the AM right league at the moment. He's 13th. In the overall standings, and has Koss and Boikema between him for the next in-class car, being 2nd place Ed Eisenring, your championship leader.
Yeah, really good. Well, just solid start there from Eisenring, honestly. That's all he really needed to do off that launch, as Samuel Jordan tries to gain a few places up 3, on 2 up 4. Zaharia dropping a few, and of course Quattrop, crucially, still in the pit lane. So I wonder if Quattrop's got a hardware failure, but this might be his championship challenge. Disappearing right now. Haridas Utortis might be our Pro-Am champion already.
There's Jordan Stromeri's in the background there, just trading places. That's Jordan up another one into 3rd. Sorry, up 4 places, even up 17th even. He wishes it was up into 3rd. As well, now begins the hunt. Ed Eisenring, the next car on track for him to try and make out, as the driver's getting stuck into the Nordschleife right now.
By the way, apologies, I may have said that Costa and Nord were teammates earlier on, but I was not right on that one, getting a little bit confused. So Costa and Nord, no affiliation, Impulse Racing, ahead of Door Esports, ahead of Olympus, ahead of Manatee, ahead of Mag. So 5 different teams in the top 5.
As we head up the hill towards Floodplatz. Love this section. Instead of having the clear cut, full commitment, and oh, that's just onto the grass. Yeah, Thomas Seifert, your leader in.
I think that might be a slowdown as well.
I think it is as well, Sam. That's going to really hurt him badly. And, well, it's only Jordan now. He got that brilliant buffer of, like, Boykema and Jordan between himself and Strong Mary. Now it's just down to the one car being Samuel Jordan. Jordan will look to dispatch Seifert as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So we look back from Maxime Marriott. What can Madsen do? He's already picked up 2 places, as Sam said earlier. Nearly won at Le Mans from 28th on the grid. This guy's got pedigree. It's a little bit more challenging to pass around here. But if anyone can, Madsen can. That is for sure. And Marriott, he's at 1 place as well so far. Bushman just driver losing out in all this. He's dropped 2. Darracott dropped 1, but Darracott's still leading that Pro-Am charge right now. And in fact, it's also started to drop away a little bit from the back of Hammer. He's going to play right into Darracott's hands. There is your Tortoise, and yeah, starting to get a bit cut adrift, Sam.
I think your Tortoise is just going to take 9th place, though. I don't think he's going to push it at all. He knows that he's in championship winning position. Knows, though, that his drop score is rubbish because he didn't turn up last week. So he needs to still finish this race. And so your Tortoise will take 9th place if he can get out. I don't think he's going to be wanting to mix around with the pros too much. Really upset with the drivers, however, for making us do maths, because I've now got a monitor for the championship points. And by my calculations, Maxime Marriott will currently win the championship ahead of Nicholas Nold. But if Nold gets to the lead and Marriott is 4th, then Nold will win the championship. So Nold is 3/10 away right now from the championship lead if Marriott and Madsen stay in the same positions. So early stages, we've got an hour of this race to go as Chris Rance has spun round. Now I don't think he's hit the wall too hard though, Rance. So he might be able to continue, but he might drop another place there to PJC.
Meanwhile, up front, this is how hard they're pushing. Under a tenth between our top 2. Costa, Nold, and in fact, he's pushing him all the way up the hill, Sam. I would not want to be in Pascal Costa's shoes right now.
Well, he's getting a nice... They're trying to break the draft to cope, and they might be able to do it. Marriott's not even that close to cope either. This team might have the pace to pull away, and this is exactly what Nold needs. He really needs to... If he wins this race, Nold, then I think Marriott would need to finish in P2.
Oh, Sam Ball.
In the wall. Was that Pontu?
It was, well, Rance is already damaged.
Espadina.
Yeah, it's Espadina, yeah. That's who it was. He was into the wall there.
And he had a qualifying ban as well, Espadina, so he started a little bit further down, so that's why he's still up 2 places.
A little bit further down through the field, that is Madsen. Not being able to make the progress initially, although they're still all pretty close together to one another, Sam. Of our top, 7, the biggest gap right now is around about 8 tenths, which is the gap between Nold and Cope. Other than that, they're a half-second to 6 tenths window.
But this is where you can pull away. I mean, this is sort of a... From the carousel to the... a little bit before the Dottingham Hoe, to Stefan Beloff S. That's pretty much where you can pull away, as you can see Igor Cross after that poor start, trying to recover some places, but getting too close to Del Piccolo. But yeah, this is their chance now to get over a second ahead. But to give credit to Thomas Cope, he is really nailing these few corners, and he's staying within 7/10 of a second. If he's within a second going onto the Dottingham Hoe, then he'll be in a good place. But Marriott is dropping time. Marriott simply does not have the pace tonight. And I can sort of see this, honestly, being a front 3 with Marriott and Madsen leading the next train if it continues like this, because the gap's up to 8.5 tenths now between Cope and Marriott. Marriott needs to up the pace in order to stay within the draft.
What can Cope do?
Oh, well, that's a mistake.
Oh, no. This could be the chance that Costa and Nold wanted to pull it away. Cope's definitely. I mean, considering that mistake, Sam, I mean, you could see the body language of the car, the way he's just fighting it every step of the way, desperate to stay onto the back. He knows if he loses that draft, then that is him gone for a chance of taking victory here today at the Nürburgring, and it does not look like he is going to be in draft range. And Marriott is not close enough to push him to close that gap back up again. But you know full well, and I can see though those gaps are closing, that Nold is going to be pushing Costa as much as he can down the Dottinger.
So that gap for Cope is coming down a little bit to Nold, so he is benefiting a bit, but not by a huge margin there. The top 5, by the way, have all won races this season. Costa has won 1 race, Nold won, Cope won, Marriott won, Hudson won. I think that's the case at least. I might have to check. But
Sam,
no
sorry to cut across you. Look, they've just lost. They pulled out the gap to about 1.1 seconds, and they've now just lost about half a second nearly. Maybe our top 2.
Lifting coasting perhaps?
Maybe. I mean, surely not to try and pad this out to another lap. I mean, surely that's not possible. Look, they're all back on top of one another yet again.
Yeah, I think the 4 laps is fairly easy. I don't think that's going to be a stretch, but let us know in the chat if you think 4 laps with 60% fuel might be a little bit of a difficulty. But I know for the 24 hours they're doing 7 lap stints on full fuel, but it's sort of like 7.5 lap stints, I think. So it's a little bit. Yeah, it's like an easy 7 laps. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's an easy 4 stop, but that might be, or 4 lapper, but that might be what they're trying to reach right now. Maybe it's not quite as easy as what I thought.
Let's take a little look back at the start and look back to how things unfolded. And well, it was that
slide for Bushman.
Yeah, and that's what cost him dearly, wasn't it? After that great qualifying that he put in.
And Cope did really well there to slalom through that, and I'm surprised that he was able to keep Marriott behind, because Marriott had the inside for the Goodyear chicane.
Seeing some of the mistakes now, and that was the slowdown that we saw earlier. And, well, some mistakes coming in. That's Espadina. That's
I think that was round.
So sorry, they have similar liveries, and it catches me out every single time, Sam. Just seeing live pictures right now, Espadina just getting past Pasquale. And I'm not too sure that Pasquale was overly impressed with that, judging by the flash of the lights that seemed to go on, but...
I think the last one we saw on the replay, by the way, was Perfonsi getting past Eisenman, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, it was. It was. And, well, that's square one for these top guys, as gaps still tight, as you like, between them all. Though they are starting to drop Darracott from this equation. So you can see the gaps between, well, themselves and the leaders. Darracott, if he's not careful, will be caught by Hammer, although that might actually play into his equation, into his favour, sorry, and then they can work together to really just get away from your tortoise, which is exactly what Darracott needs now if he wants to secure victory in the Pro-Am category. But meanwhile, Samuel Jordan, he's going for that Nick Madsen vibe, isn't he, from Le Mans? He's up 6 places so far after not setting a time during qualifying, up into 15th. That's Samuel Boykema in the battle of the Samuels, currently going on over 14th place. You can see just how much Jordan's pushing left, right, pulls it to the right. He's going to be left the gap there by Boykema. Jordan says, thank you very much. I'll slot my car through there. But it's going to be a bit more challenging up ahead because Kost, Del Piccolo, and Lazarus are all over one another.
Yeah, might get past Lazarus as well. Yeah, Lazarus had an instant, so he dropped behind both Kost and Del Piccolo, had an awful run. And then he's dropped behind Jordan and Boykema. I was a little bit anxious about that one because they were going through that slaloming section of the lap through Volkshorsche, and that's very tricky to overtake that part, but they managed to do it very well. Look at that, we're trying to get past around this part of the circuit into first siphon.
He's definitely asking the questions, isn't he, Sam, of Costa? Definitely asking them, and they're struggling a little bit for this section. They're all pretty much, you know, one line through there, through miss, hit, miss, onto the brakes, and this is the part of the track that I really struggle with, where it just drops away from you. So easy to understeer the car off if you don't get all the speed scrubbed off.
Eisen with a slight setback. I ooh in that fashion because he's our amateur championship leader as it stands.
Incoming, Sam's got the calculator out. Let's try and work this one out.
Yeah, like so. Second place at the moment in that one is Stromeri. How's Stromeri doing at the moment?
17th.
17th.
Cypher is in 16th though, Sam.
Stromeri would really need a stunning round, wouldn't he? He'd need to get at least top 10.
Never say never, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely happen. But yeah, a little bit anxious for it, isn't it? Such a stressful. I mean, personally, I remember when I won the BSR Winter Series Championship. I was at the the final round was Bathurst, and that's a really tough round to finish off the season with. Of course, I did still manage to do it in incredible fashion, but Nürburgring's not far off, honestly, in terms of a tricky round to finish it off. As here comes Bushman, and this is Madsen came across a little bit there. He's running the risk. And of course, Bushman's interest here is just to battle Madsen. He doesn't care about winning this race, Bushman. Just battle Madsen, hold him up, and allow Marriott to get away. Because, remember, Marriott leads the championship, and Madsen is PT.
That was incredibly close, Sam. So enter into the carousel.
Oh, he might be able to go for a move. I mean, this one's pretty much flat out in these cars. But he's making it tricky. Madsen will just turn in as if there's not a car there. But Bushman's doing a really good job here. I mean, he'll be frustrated that he had that spin on, or that half spin on that one. Otherwise, he had such a good launch. He had the best launch of anyone in the front field. He could have been up to P3 if it weren't for that. But he's still really serving to give it well. Madsen now a second behind. Marriott really needs to nail this next part in order to get nicely in the draft for the Dottingham home. I look at Darracott, he's right back with these guys now. It's really nice up
he's
on Darracott.
Really reeled them in, hasn't he? And he's pretty much brought Hammer along for the ride, and they've actually, it's net gain from Darracott and Hammer because they've got away from your Tortoise as well, Sam. He's normally sat there smiling, is Philip Hammer, but his webcam, that is laser focused here tonight. So you see Mrs. Hammer just sat there, waiting patiently. Was the avid fan helping along, encouraging Philip. Really needs it tonight as he wants to close in to his fellow pro drivers. Darracott just in front of him, although Darracott really holding his own as we ride on board with Nick Madsen. That tactic, I tell you what, Sam, of Bushman just launching attacks at Madsen is really working because that gap is opening up to himself and Marriott. 1.1 seconds is the advantage Marriott has over Madsen right now. In fact, make that 1.3.
Yeah, that was really good from Marriott, wasn't it, through the mini-car? So I don't think Madsen's line was too poor. But he's a little bit out of the throttle there. That will be very frustrating for him. And it'll be a sitting duck for Bushman down this next straight. Nick Madsen's championship hopes are being compromised. I mean, usually when you're 5th place, 3.3 seconds off the lead, things aren't looking too bad for you. But with the way that this race is going, it's not looking fantastic for him right now. Interesting that the top two were able to pull off
fuel saving going on there, Sam. I mean, the next big opportunity is down into turn 1, but we're going to cut away and just concentrate on this fascinating battle ensuing right now as they're going to make it 3 wide here and potentially, no, it's just a slowdown there,
no,
I think.
That can't be a slowdown.
Well, no, I mean, Del Piccolo just let everyone pass. You know, Lazarus, Boikema, Jordan, he's now up 9 places into 12, making progress. Here's the ART esports driver. There's it's working. Look, Madsen's being forced off the line. Bushman is doing the job that he needs to do right now to make sure that Marriott wins this championship.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Del Piccolo.
He just full on just backed out of it and let everyone come past. It's bizarre.
We'll see if it was, or maybe he was just, maybe he's got like PTSD from a previous incident down in that part of the circuit. Just thought, no, I'm not going 3 wide around that part. Lane, who of course took pole position at Le Mans in the last extended race that we had, unfortunately had a hardware issue on lap 1, which denied his chances. I thought he might be a bit of a a dark horse for this round, but still up in the top 10 is a solid performance for Salvatore. I think he's looking for 3rd position in, well, he's currently 5th position in the Pro-Am Championship, but potentially he could get up to 3rd position if it ended like this. It would be very close between him and Lazarus for 4th, but he'd need something to happen to Del Piccolo. And of course, Kotchup, unfortunately out of the race, which very much means that Haldas Tortoise will almost certainly be our Pro-Am champion, let alone the strong performance that he's having so far tonight.
Just taking a look at the replays right now. So there's Corey Lazarus running very, very wide and, well, got away with that one. And that's what happened to Eisenring, wow. Sam. That's what, he kept it out the wall. Well done to him.
Oh, man. I mean, that's Netco territory, isn't it? I mean, thank goodness they're both located in Europe. And that was in the wall for maybe Pahonti?
Yeah. So there's Del Piccolo on the left. And, well, he just full on, just backed out of it, just threw out the anchor and let everyone come storming through.
By the way, real nice colour consistency right now. Look at all those apps. 16th down to 24th. They're not even close to anyone behind as well. Fantastic job from the ARA admins to set those Pro-Am and Am and Pro categories, because those amps are rooted on that part of the board right now. All 9 of them. Seifert, though, needs to get up there, and Stromae as well, in order to put some pressure on Eisenring for the title.
Oh, Rance has had an issue and he's jumped to the pits, so that's going to be race ending for Chris Rance, potentially the Brit. Into the pits, down and out, having towed, and that's going to be a long, long tow as well. Not what he would have hoped for coming into this round. So strong results. We look back from Costa at Nold and Cope, and they're getting away from Marriott. We have 1.4 seconds between Cope and Marriott. Madsen then a further 1.2 behind Marriott. Bushman nipping at his heels, and it's weird. They're like an accordion, aren't they, Sam, this top group? They compact up. They expand out again, all the gaps. They compact up again. And there's Multi-Apples saying in the chat, it's a close race and not wrong at all. Apple son. Top tier 3?
Yeah, that's... no, I mean, let's not go down that route. But, yeah, Bushman is staying close. I mean, Dagcott's saying 1.1 seconds behind. I'm impressed by these top guys that they're actually keeping it on the track right now, because I think pretty much everyone, bar Costa and Nold, are real pushing right now. Like, these guys are absolutely pushing 100%, and this is such a tricky circuit, and it really does show the level of these drivers. Del Piccolo's just got past Lazarus, by the way. But it really does show the level of these drivers, that they're able to keep it on this exceptionally narrow circuit, corner after corner, and not, you know, go over the curves too much, a bit like that for Bushman, but he got out of the throttle well. Thanks, by the way, to Apex Racing Academy, of course, the title sponsor for this series, and Apex Racing Academy have given all these drivers a free 1-month subscription to get setups for the Porsche Cup machine. And I certainly know for a few drivers it's been a massive help for them, particularly at Eisenring, leader at the Amateur Championship, been going to the group coaching sessions week after week, really, you know, plugging away at the car. And with the coach, Michael Yanni, who has been instructing on how to get better, he really has improved his performance. And of course, you've got those group coaching sessions, the setups and the track guides and everything else that Apex Racing Academy provides for a variety of cars, over 20 of them on iRacing. So if you want to get faster, do certainly check out apexracingac.com in order to get yourself a subscription and find those extra few tenths on iRacing. It's not close enough to go for a move, but it's not too. Great luck though from Cope, and you never really know what's going to happen with Thomas Cope, do you?
No.
Like he won at Brands Hatch, then he didn't turn up for the round 2. He could have won. I mean, like, Le Mans was thrown away because he had to race from here at the Apex Racing Sim Center on a setup that he's not familiar with. Still did very well, but was compromised. And then Silverstone he could have won, because he was doing really well in his heat, and then he got a slowdown. I mean, the guy could have won 3 races this season, if you're including this one.
Oh, he could have tied up the championship.
Yeah, he could have fought for the championship, and yet he's very far away. So, and of course, it's not a surprise for Thomas, because he won the GT3 trophy a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, like it's a little bit unpredictable whether he's going to be fighting for the lead or fighting for 10th place. But tonight is certainly the former.
I know from speaking to his team manager, Charles Michel, so one of our fellow commentators here at Apex Racing TV, he really rates this young man. And what he's doing. Oh, no, there's a curse to the commentator if there ever was one. I'm so sorry, Thomas. What have I done?
Oh man, and it was both of us as well. Oh man.
I'm speechless. Oh, Thomas, I'm so sorry.
And I was picking up how none of them were making mistakes. He was doing really well as well.
He was.
And I thought that I didn't think he was having to push it 100% because he was in the draft. He'd worked hard to get back in the draft. Yeah. And then he's just dipped a wheel onto the grass. Yeah. He just didn't leave that curb soon enough.
Only literally, I'll say half a tire's width at very most. And iRacing grass claims yet another victim.
Now this is interesting for the championship because arguably that's good for Noel, arguably that's good for Marriott and Madsen because that's now got rid of a bridge between Noel and Marriott, whereas Cope before could maybe give Marriott a draft up to the top two. Now that bridge is gone, and so there's a clear seismic gap between the two of them. However, obviously it has given Marriott a position, but as it stands right now, if Noel overtakes Costa, he will win this championship. Pretty much. I mean, look, these two now are away from the rest. I know we've got pit stops and stuff to come up, which we might see a couple of coming up now. But it's in Noel's hands, honestly. If he wins this race, he is almost certainly going to win this championship.
Also, oh, I thought they were going on a different strategy then.
Is anyone going to go? Will Madsen throw the... No. No one's really in traffic, so I think everyone's just going to go for the four-lapper to start off with. It makes sense.
Here comes Bushman, Sam, and I tell you what, Madsen knows that he goes defensive, and this is really not helping his cause whatsoever. But Madsen he's a wily foul fox. He knew how to position the car. He knew what to do to it as the Harry's got past Kliss. That's over 22nd place right now. Madsen holds on, but he is catching on Marriott, Sam. Marriott's struggling, I think, with the tyres a little bit at this stage in the race.
Dramarian, interesting. So he's the one guy who has come into the pits.
But a few more of the amps across the line, haven't we, Sam? Pontu, Spadina, Pasquale, Eisenring.
I think Pasquale might pit. If he doesn't, then I think he needs his brain checked as well to his car because that thing's damaged.
Interestingly, both the 3D Rap Squad Corsa guys and also is Espadina is in too, their privateer from Portugal.
So, by the way, if Madsen passes Marriott, Madsen will still be 1 point behind Marriott. So it's looking a bit rubbish for Madsen. And of course, Bushman's not going to pass Marriott because they're teammates.
So, Madsen needs to pass Marriott. Then Madsen needs to hope that in a desperate rush to the finish, when Noel tries to get past Costa, they have an issue, and at least one of them then drops down. But then equally that might, but only enough so that Madsen gets past them, but Marriott doesn't.
But it's tricky as well because if Noel wins this race, he's guaranteed to beat Madsen because he'll get at least 12 more points, and he's only 11 points behind. So Madsen's in a very tricky place where if Noel wins this race, Madsen can do nothing. At least Marriott, if Noel wins this race, Marriott can finish 2nd place. Hopefully this is quite understandable. I appreciate it by Noel. It's maths. If you check out the ApexRacingLeague.com website, actually, you can see the championship points, and that will certainly help anyone viewing this race figure out what's going on. But it's really close, and you should watch all 7 laps of this season finale to see who comes out on top.
Just on board with Philip Hammer right now.
He's going to try to tow. He's got to tow back that. I mean, you don't want to be driving that thing all the way back to the pits, but yeah, I think he's going to try to rejoin.
Oh no, he's gone. He's gone, Sam.
Wow, well, that's a big help for Madsen. Sort of. It has broken that bridge to Darricot, so Darricot now without a draft.
Yeah, but this is tricky.
Ooh. And that's in the wall for Lane. Lane in the wall. And he's trying to recover, not much reaction, but that was contact there, I think, with Icon Koss.
Shake of the head there, the Italian not too overly enamoured, I don't think, by that one, judging by his camera and certainly his body language that's coming from it for certain. I mean, trouble is with Bushman gone, Sam, is that as much as it does bridge the gap to Darricot, which helps him in some ways, actually it doesn't. He would be better off having Bushman there because he needs Darricot into the fight. So if he does get past Marriott, Darricot can try and follow him through and get the move done.
Yeah, he very, very much needs Darricot to help him out here.
And ideally, Philip Hammer too.
Yeah. Yeah, really, the only scenario that Madsen wins this championship is if Nold stays in second, Madsen gets up to third, and Darricot gets up to fourth. That's the scenario that Madsen needs. Yeah, it's looking like a bit of a long shot right now. By the way, another shout out to SDK Gaming. The price of our overlay, it looks so good up on screen. Of course, this is one of several templates that you can get. You've got the WEC overlay. You've got the Formula 3.5 overlay. This, of course, is the NASCAR overlay, the ticker and the timing tower, and several others as well, which are very easy to implement. And, of course, also provides of live timing and a heads-up display as well for whilst you're racing, with a fuel calculator and everything that you need for endurance race.
Grass, Sam. Costa just dips into the grass there.
Yes. But yeah, do check out Apex SDK-gaming.co.uk to get a 14-day free trial. But you are correct, very odd line there for Costa.
Oh, Sam, this scares me, the way that they push each other up the hill. This is millimetres from ending in tears between these two. I mean, surely they've done the hard work now. They're free. Madsen's part of Marriott. Madsen's got the move done up the hill.
That's one of them.
Oh, Madsen's not happy. So Marriott's not happy. That was a definite flash of the lights there.
These two have had their issues this season. And also, look at that. It's held him up brilliantly. So now Darricot's in play. It's a real nice work there for Madsen, where like they're giving up on the top two. I mean, the top two are absolutely gone now, unless they have like really long pit stops. We know Madsen pushes it on fuel. But, yeah, this has brought Darricot back into play. Remember, Hammer's still got a chance at the championship, but he needs Nold, Madsen and Marriott to have issues. So right now, Nick Madsen, would he win the championship?
I'll leave you to get your answers.
No, so he's still lacking 1 point on Marriott. But
so basically, he needs
Darricot to pass Marriott. But he's ahead of Nolden, at least. Nolden, Madsen, Marriott. Championship contenders Lazarus into the wall. And that will be suspension damage. Fortunately, his pit stop is on this lap anyway. But our 4th place in the Pro-Ams. Of course, Lane's already crashed 5th place in the Pro-Ams. Quattrops didn't even start the race. Del Piccolo's not exactly having a good time of it. The Pro-Ams are not having a good time of it right now, unless your name is Tim Darricot.
He's having an absolute barnstorm as the Effect Simulation driver. And see just how much Costa is pushing it, dancing it off the corner exit there. What's these cars have no traction control, no ABS. True raw driver's car, if there ever was one. All about the mechanical grip and these things. And just how much airborne Pascal Costa gets there. He is pushing this to the max, Sam.
Pit stops on this lap. They don't want to be caught out by Madsen or Marriott or Kay. Pitting a little bit, taking a little bit less fuel. Not that that should be too much of a concern. I mean, none of them have really been able to fuel save that much.
Pasquale going slow,
apart
Sam.
from Nold. As, yeah, you're right, Pasquale having a tough time of it. So
no bonnet?
Isaac somehow back up into 16th place. He's done really well to recover. He's a long way off Cypher, to be fair. Cypher's having a very good race right now, way ahead of the rest of the AMS. But yeah, not too bad for Isaac. Now championship leader, remember, in the AMS. But Nold is going to take the lead of this race. Whether he gets it done now or whether he gets it done in the pit stop, he has saved a nice amount of fuel, and he might even be out of draft range. Let's see if he's going to launch it now. I feel like he may as well go for it, seeing that they're going to pit in just a few moments anyway. And there he goes. This is looking brilliant for Nicholas Nold to take his second race win of the season, and he is now in championship winning position.
Costa tucks in, well, before Noel just cuts across the front of him. They come into the braking zone now. Costa just backs it off a little bit. Well, who's got the strategy right? Who's going to put in exactly the right amount of fuel? This is still a veil as that, well, it's coming down to the race into the pits, onto the brakes. As they're all in. Nold, Costa, Madsen, Marriott, Darricott, Hammer, and is that Cope going again?
Has Cope continued? I did not think you could do 5 laps. Gosh, that's crazy.
That wasn't in the rule book. Certainly in when you were coming up this, Sam. The rules for this one, Sam, as everyone into the pits. Is Cost going again as well? Sam, I think we can squeeze another lap out of this if you're careful enough. Hammer, Yutsortus, Jordan is in. Boykema's going again. And out of the pits, in front comes Nold. And I'll tell you, Costa's still in the pit lane, Sam.
He's taking tyres. That's... Why is he taking tyres?
You don't need to... I mean, it's too early to be taking tyres, Sam.
I mean, he's lost, say, 19.2 seconds. I don't think he's taken all the tyres.
Well...
I wonder if that was a mistake. Or maybe he... He did have some damage, but they've got a faster pair, so you just take the faster pair, not actually fix it. Not sure what the logic there for Costa was. He still got the damage as well, so he didn't exactly fix it. He couldn't have taken all the tyres there. Like, let us know on the chat if we're wrong here, but I think it's 25 seconds to take tyres.
To look.
And Marriott got back ahead of Madsen as well, so he took a little bit less fuel. So, Marriott is now in championship winning position. With that, because he's got ahead of both Costa and Madsen, whilst Nolder is leading this race, Marriott is back into championship winning position.
Just trying to look at, there we go, Sam. Some pit stop time. So Costa was stationary for 19 seconds, Sam. 19.6 seconds. Does he overfuel that car? Maybe a little bit?
He was definitely on the jacks, though.
Was he?
Definitely certain on the jacks,
okay.
Yeah. So, as Nolder gets past Boykema, so that's good to do before the Nordschleife.
I mean, this now hands the championship pretty much into the hands of Nolder.
No, to Marriott. So because if Nolder wins this race and Marriott is second, Marriott wins the championship. Because Marriott got ahead of Madsen.
So Madsen needs to stop Marriott from winning it. Yeah. Madsen needs to get ahead of Marriott. That means Nolder will now win this.
Yeah. So Madsen can't win the championship now, but he can deny Marriott the championship. So it's sort of in Madsen's hands, sort of in Marriott's hands.
Hammer got a really good jump as well in the pit stops because look, he's ahead of Darricott.
Yeah, Darricott was a bit slow, wasn't he?
No, he was actually faster. He was stationary for less time by about 3 attempts compared to Philip Hammer. And actually, he had one of the shortest stops of absolutely anyone within our top 5. So
maybe he lost it on the Dotzinger Hoe just before, as we see a few replays of happened, and that was the move from Madsen. That was a bold move there, and that was a good move from him because it brought a few others into play. It was Strumeri?
It's Pasquale.
Pasquale.
Oh, that's Corey Lazarus into the wall. And that is the change in lead between Nold and Costa. And then Costa's pit strategy. I mean, does he know something that not everyone knows about? He's going to have to get a wiggle on here, Sam, because he's got 2 laps to make up of, well, pretty much 10 seconds.
Just looking back at some of the other replays as well, just on the stream, and just looking back at the issue for Bushman, and he ran, yeah, Bushman ran a little bit wide, but yeah, you all saw that just a few moments ago anyway. Yeah, well, maybe Costa, I think he accidentally took tyres, honestly, but it could...
Oh, Sam, wow.
The curves are so treacherous out here. It might upset his balance as well if he's only taken...
If he's only taken, like,
left tyres or any front tyres.
Yeah.
Like, if he's only taking front tyres, then that'd be absolutely awful balance. But I don't think it's that. I think you'd be able to notice that fairly quick.
Bushman... Strong Mary's jumped to the pits, hasn't he? Because Bushman's now ahead of him. Unless Bushman got out again. No, Bushman's got out finally and running.
Do you have a faster pair? Remember these drivers, so if they do have to tow back to the pits, they're still in play. Nicholas Nolden now with a 6-second advantage over the rest of the order, basically, because Cope and Koss and Boykema all have to come into the pits.
They're the only drivers not to stop last time around. We have a few drivers stop on lap 3, being Pasquale and Espadina, both down in Anne. And, well, let's just take you through some standings here from Nürburgring as Cope leads from Koss. As you get to stop, Nolder is your provisional leader right now. Boykema, another driver yet to stop as well. That means Marriott and Madsen's going to make up your podium overall at the moment, with Hammer, Costa, Darracott leading in Pro-Am. Your Tortoise in second in class, I believe, despite being 10th overall right now because of Boykema yet to stop. Boykema, I think he's going to come out in third potentially in class, Sam, after his stop.
I think that's where he was before, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Not a very long pit stop, only 12 seconds, and the pit lane here is not the longest in the world, not as long as Le Mans, which we visited the last time we had one of these extended races. Finally, a shout out to Virtual Racing School, by the way, for of course providing their software for over 50 cars in iRacing in a variety of categories, and of course also new into the hardware sale of things as well, with their pedals and their wheelbase, and of course newly their wheel rim, their Formula steering wheel. And if you check out the Apex Racing Sim social medias on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you can see an unboxing video for the wheel rim presented by Jamie Fluke and Kevin Ellis Jr. And then also a little bit of a review as well from Peter Bayman explaining why he uses the Formula wheel. The guy's been using them for about a year, the prototypes, but yeah, it is now properly available to view for everyone as Boy came around, and the rest of the drivers did a good job at avoiding. But yeah, do certainly check out apexracingsim.com or vrs.racing. Boykema does a 5-point turn and he's back going again. That's a shame for him, but yeah, he was having to push hard to make that stretch.
I think, Sam, that could possibly hand Del Piccolo third in class.
Yes, I think you're right. It might also hand Cypher a position as well.
Yeah, overall, that is very true. That is very
maybe
true.
Even Lazarus, frankly. I mean,
it won't be Eisenring.
But yeah, it certainly won't go down as far as Eisenring.
I mean, they've got, what, nearly 30-second gap, haven't they? 24 seconds, apologies, between Lazarus and Eisenring.
Let us know who you think's going to win this championship. I'm trying. We're trying to explain it as simply as possible what's going on. But Nolder's going to win this race. I don't think there's much doubt about that. He's absolutely clear of the rest. He's 8 seconds clear of the rest of the field because the top two still have to pit. If Madsen beats Marriott, Nold wins the championship. If Marriott beats Madsen, Marriott wins the championship. That's pretty much as simple as it gets right now. So do you think Madsen's going to beat Marriott? Because that will decide the championship. Let us know on the YouTube channel.
Boykema's crashed again.
No.
And that's your Tortoise gone along with him as well.
There was quite a gap between the two of them, I think. No, but I think Boykema maybe was a couple of seconds ahead when he rejoined and then must have lost some more time.
Well, I think he's come off track, then come back on track, and as your Tortoise has gone past him, he might have then clipped him.
I think Costa's got past Darracott on this lap. I think Costa's actually motoring along quite nicely now.
He has, yeah, he has got past Darracott, well spotted, Sam.
So here comes Cope. Quite a lot of damage on the back of that car. Is he spluttering?
Didn't sound...
I thought I just heard a little bit of...
I mean, he was downshifting quite heavily as well to try and, get the car stopped as quick as possible. Koss into the pit lane too. Madsen, I mean, look how close it is between Madsen and right behind him, that's Philip Hammer.
Honestly, I think Nold's the championship for the championship right now. I think Madsen's faster than him. I think Hammer's faster than him. And I'm sure Costa is faster than him. And they're all queuing up behind him. 2 laps to go. And it would be incredible for him to hold on from here. There's Boykema. The first one, at least, was by himself.
Just a bit too much curbing there, looks like to me, Sam. And then,
really
wow, Madsen nearly hit him.
Really good job not to accelerate there.
This is the second one. Oh, wow, that went wrong in spectacular style. And, oh, you Tortoise. Wow, you are very lucky there. It was good job there was a big runoff there.
I think he's on the brakes yeah, he's already. Oh, that's such good driving there from your Tortoise. Like, I mean, that's a little bit of luck, but that's mainly just skill there from to brake when he saw the car spinning ahead of him rather than going flat out. Your Tortoise now alongside Jordan, so he's trying to get back this position.
No, that is Jordan going ahead of your Tortoise,
Yeah.
Sam. I mean, what a recovery drive it's been from Jordan. Well, these two still side by side, neither of them wanting to give this up whatsoever. As finally Jordan gets the move done on the inside through Goodyear. And that is him now up into 8th overall, 7th in class. What a move from him. Boy came out finally into the pits, the last driver to stop, and he's going to come out 5th in class. Oh, those two incidents really throwing it away. But in terms of him finishing on the podium in the Pro-Am.
Is that Darracott just wide in the background? Yeah. It's not exactly what Darracott needed. Cope's going to be on the back of these guys by the end, I think.
Darracott just needs to hold on to this one, Sam.
Yeah, it'd be a nice result for him. Hasn't been perfect for effect simulations. Of course, we had, I think, Furt Wangler was part of that team at the start of the season. Hasn't been able to make the last few rounds, but of course entered into the Apex Racing League Endurance Championship as well, coming up in a couple of weeks. Got a couple of entries into that, so I think Darracott's in one of the cars as well, so he will be returning to ARL soon.
Championship sponsored by ASUS,
Yeah.
Republic of Gamers.
I need to get used to that. It's the ASUS ARL Endurance Championship.
Some lovely prizes they've kindly donated as well as our good friends at Stormforce Gaming as well. Have donated a lovely ASUS watch as well, Sam.
Yeah. Real nice. Big thanks to both ASUS and Stormforce Gaming. Well, Stormforce Gaming with probably the best livery, I think, in sim racing in PESC.
Also, I hands down agree. A commentator's dream, that is. It stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? It's brilliant, but a beautiful sore thumb.
Yeah, I was about to say the sore thumb usually is a
negative connotation.
A negative sight, but no, it's like a perfectly well-formed thumb.
It stands out.
That stands out like a really noticeable good thumb. Marriott has lost his gap to Madsen. Oh, well, look at... I mean...
So Marriott
if
passes...
Marriott wins this champion... If Marriott finishes second place and wins this championship, then he deserves it based on this race, because he is not the second fastest man out here. And look at the queue of cars. Like, Costa is flying along. Costa is absolutely flying along.
Well, he had the pace, Sammy. He just threw it all the way in the pit stops.
As we saw at Monza as well. I mean, he's got a bit of a reputation.
He has.
Unless it was tactical and he's figured out a way that you can take tyres and actually you're lightning fast. But he's 8 seconds off the lead right now, so
I mean, he's not going to make that one up, Sam. I mean, the guy's quick. No question about it. A phenomenal talent. But Noel's not going to drop that amount of pace.
Former champion, of course.
Madsen ran it in a bit deep, Sam. Madsen ran it in deep, and he's going to have to squeeze and wiggle to defend that one over Hammer.
Yeah, not what he needed. He'll get that draft back through Kesselshen and Kostotal and into Steel Streck around this next part of the circuit where he gets some drafts. He torts us back ahead of Jordan. Jordan's made a mistake. Jordan has crashed off the circuit, but he... Oh, yeah, you're all right. Yep, he's crashed. He's back on track.
Hopefully it was a more near skim of the barrier rather than a full-on clout for the Brit. I mean, he was absolutely flying, he was. I mean, he's still up 11 places into 10th, but he was up, what, 13 places into 8th. We'll see as he comes around the corner. We'll get a front angle view of the car.
Ah, he's fine.
Yeah, he'll buff out.
I don't know how he's crashed on that part, unless... Yeah, it could be that double left-hander, actually.
He might have just grazed the left-hand side of the car up against the wall or something daft like that by just running a little bit wide onto the curb. You say, Sam, he is backing them all up right now. But he's got the big advantage, hasn't he, that he knows that backs him up more so, then Hammer will start attacking Madsen. But see some more of the replays right now. So that's how... Ooh, Tim Darracott, you lucky, lucky boy.
Would have got a slowdown anyway, so he was serving that by going off the track.
Stromeri.
I just assume that it's always Stromeri, and that sounds
It
really
was.
harsh, but that's just the first guy who I think of when I see a 3D wrap.
And the second one was how Jordan just lost it, and it was only a light graze there, Sam.
Ooh, a little bit wide for Marriott. The thing with Madsen as well is that, like, Madsen will just overtake. Like, he's not going to, like, wait for the tossing a hoe. He'll just overtake at a random corner. Like, Marriott, I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he never enters an ARA Porsche Cup race after this, because this is as stressful as you like. For people just tuning in, Nolde is currently leading this race, but is third in the championship. If Marriott holds on to second place, Marriott will win his first Apex Racing League championship. If he doesn't get second place, Marriott, then Nolde will win the title. So this is loads of pressure, and I mean, on the last lap, Marriott was safe, wasn't he? Because he had that gap. Not anymore. He's going to have 3 cars all attacking him at the end of this straight. It's looking fantastic for Nicholas Nolde.
Here we go, Sam. Any carousel done. The penultimate time. Winding up out onto the Dottinger. As well, pulling out Marriott to 9 tenths there, and well, here we go. Weaving across the track to break the draft, but Madsen will be getting a push from Hammer. Will even Hammer be getting a push from Costa as they form up that train and hunt down the Frenchman, who's currently in second. And if Madsen can pass him, he will take away that championship from Marriott. Cope's just got past Darricott, but right now it's all about this 4-way battle for second place. 2 places on the podium. Who is going to take it? At the moment, it's Marriott and Madsen with the advantage over Hammer and Costa, but this could go any way as they come out onto the Grand Prix start-finish straight. And wow, there you go, the weave to break the draft right now. White flag in the air, 1 lap left to go of round 8 of the championship and of this season. And you said about it, Sam, Madsen is having a good look there down into turn 1. He might even get him on the exit here in a bit. He's got the momentum coming off the corner. You see him just going for that late apex there to open up the corner.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised he didn't have a better chance at the end of the Dottinger Hoe, honestly. I think I looked away and maybe made a mistake just before the Dottinger Hoe, because he seemed in a prime position, but he's running out of time. And Marriott's still in championship winning position as it stands. We go through Dunlop. Costa not really able to do a whole lot at the end of that straight.
Did set fastest lap of the race last time around though, in 8:12.61.
Yeah, and that was in traffic as well. Like, I think he basically had free air for the GP layout, and that was it. So Costa really had the pace. He was always going to lose out to Nolde in the pit stop sequence, because Nolde had the tow for the whole first 4 laps, and so was saving fuel. But he should have only had like 3 seconds to make up, not 12 seconds. He ended up having to make up. He has got, I think, 1 or 2 fresh tyres on that car. That's probably not even an advantage because it messes up the balance of the machine. So, yeah, frustrating one for Costa, and a bit of a what could have been for him in the championship, because he's been a bit up and down this season. Monza could have certainly won, as Marriott is very wide, almost into the pit wall, as Costa has a huge slide as well, spinning up the tyres.
What a save that was, Sam. What a save from Pascal Costa. I thought that was it in the bin. Race over for the German, but, well, using the throttle there to steer with the rear and managed to save it. And it's going to require another fastest lap of the race for him if he's to close in and try to make progress against Marriott, Madsen and Hammer. As there is Cope, with Darricott being towed along nicely by him. These guys, they're going to be well too far behind to make any impression on the podium overall, but Darricott looking strong for the podium, sorry, for the win in class. As Clist getting the move done there on Pontu.
This could be an opportunity here for Madsen. Most drivers will wait for it here, but Madsen will go for it if he has half the chance. Here we go, top 2 in the championship, alongside Nolde is backing the Danish driver all the way here as we go sweeping to the left. And Madsen is up into second position, and that is championship winning position right now for Nicholas Nolde. He would outscore Matthew Marriott by 20 points and win the title by 4 points. The top 3, if it ended like this, would be separated by 5 points in the championship. But right now it is Nolde, and now Matt needs to at least keep third place. It's definitely not game over, but he needs to stay close to Madsen and try to pass him on the Dotsing home. But he's already dropped back a bit, hasn't he? He's already half a second behind.
More like 6/10 in fact, Sam. And I worry a bit for Marriott because Hammer tried to follow Madsen through. I mean, it was brave and ambitious, and it didn't quite work out for the German, but with the pace that Hammer's been displaying, wouldn't put it past on him getting past him. And also, I mean, Costa's been the quickest of those 4 by a country mile. I wouldn't put it past old Costa to make a run to the line and get it past Marriott, which that completely changes the equation yet again. I mean, surely that's going to drop Marriott out of second place in the championship and hand Madsen second place.
Yeah. If Marriott drops another place, then that will be Madsen up into second place in the championship. But a bare few corners there from Marriott, and we do know that Madsen's got a mistake in him, even when he's in good form, like at Sebring. He's got a mistake in him. We have seen him miss a fair few apexes so far tonight. Now, this is the part of the circuit where it's really easy to stay close. They'll approach Bergvik soon, and then Kesselchen, Klostertal, and Stilstreck. And this is the part of the track where he can really dip into the drafts. I don't think Hammer will commit. Hammer's one of the more passive drivers out here, and so I think he would just want to, if anything, stay close to Madsen. Remember, Hammer could still win this championship if the top 3 all crash out on this last lap. Amazing that we got the top 4 in the championship, in the top 4 places right now.
There is Koss just hunting down and trying to catch up back of Haradashi. Swords, that's scoring an 8th overall. Madsen being reined in right now, heading up the hill by Marriott and co.
Okay, so he's made up that gap now pretty much, hasn't he? That's good.
He does down the straight, Sam, but it's all those tight, technical, twisty bits where Marriott just loses all that time.
I mean, this is so stressful. Like, you've got, if you're Madsen, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. As long as Madsen is aware of the championship, he knows he's got nothing to lose. Marriott has got to nail every corner here at the Nordschleife to the end of this lap in order to win this championship. If he nails them all, he can do this. And that's the fantastic thing about the Nordschleife, is that there's always time to be gained. You can always push it that little bit further in order to gain those extra few hundreds around these corners. And he has got to find those hundreds right now because the championship is on the line. And look at Madsen, he's a little bit wide.
There you go. You said he got a mistake in him, Sam, and it's just starting to show right now.
Oh, I'd be cramping right now, honestly, Tim. I'm almost cramping and I'm just watching it. I don't have any investment there.
Be huffing and puffing more than the wolf trying to blow the 3 little piggy tails down. You can see, I mean, they are right on the ragged edge of Rhodesian, these guys.
And of course the tyres will be getting a little bit old as well. I mean, they're pretty much an hour old. I mean, Costas won't because he accidentally took some tyres. But besides him, all their tyres will be really old.
There is Costa. He's closed right into the back room. In fact, looking at pace-wise, they're really pushing and motoring along right now. Nold is...
Not still faster than these guys. Nold's pace has been...
Oh, yeah.
What a good win for him.
Lazarus has had a bit of an issue out on track, and yeah, it looks like that might be a bit of a big one as we stick with this battle for second place right now. On board with Pascal Costa. He's at the rear of this train.
Here we go. Marriott's half a second behind. It's so close.
You
Who's going to win this title? It's all between Madsen and Marriott. Marriott's got the mini carousel good. That was the risky one. This one should be easy enough, but still so important. The most important corner of the season. And we are soon going to find out who our champion for the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup is going to be.
Well, the wiper blades on there for Costa, but now's your time, Maxime Marriott. You've got to give it everything you got. This is it. You need to catch Madsen. You need to find a way past the Dane. But he looks just that bit too far back. He's closing. He's closing. It's down to 3 tenths. It's down to 2 tenths. But he's running out of straight right now. And Madsen just needs to cover off this inside line. But here comes Philip Hammer. He's looking incredibly racy. As Madsen runs him into the grass a little bit there. Mario cuts it. And then, oh, there's going to be contact. And, oh, Mario comes up the worst. He's spinning around. Noel's going to take the victory in the championship. Madsen's going to pick up second, and Marriott's tumbling through the order, and I think that might even give Madsen second place in the championship, Sam.
It will give Madsen second place in the championship.
While that was all going on, Darricott, well, he picked up, well, he did get past Cope, but then Cope got past him again. Down the Dottinger. As Darricott's going to take the victory there for effect in the Pro-Am category. Utorsa's going to pick up second. Seifert, he's got a bit of a while to cross the line, but he's going to take up that victory in Am. But if he can get across the line...
Well, we've got to get a replay of that, haven't we?
We have, Sam. We need every angle there.
It's a shame for it to end like that. Nicholas Knowles is our Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup champion, however. By my calculations, he has won it by 1 point.
Oh, no. Oh,
over Nick Madsen. 1 point. He had 11 points to gain going into this round, and he's just gained 12 on Madsen. Incredible stuff. Obviously, Marriott with that last lap incident dropping far down. But congratulations to Nicholas Nold, because it's been a fantastic end to the season for him. And 2 race wins to his name as well. Really consistent in recent rounds. Of course, remember that 3rd position that he was in at Le Mans before he took it right at the end? When Marriott, ironically, when Marriott and Madsen made contact again. And I mean, tonight he was absolutely on top form, and he's been able to take it. Our Pro-Am champion, however, is Haldas Utortas, who I didn't think was going to be able to convert it tonight, but with the issues that we had for Kotchup before the race even started, he wasn't able to put the pressure on. I believe that Ed Eisenring as well has got the points that he needed. Not the most perfect time for Eisenring, still a podium to Ed Eisenring, your amateur champion. And I believe Mag Performance as well will win the team's championship as well, so congratulations to them.
What have we just witnessed? I mean, essentially, I mean, this is the thing. Marriott had nothing to lose.
Well, Madsen had nothing to lose.
Well, yeah, none of them did. In that second place, they knew they weren't going to catch Nord, but I think
Marriott had to go for it. I don't know if it was a case that Madsen moved across slightly, or if Marriott was going for a gap, which was never there.
I don't know, but I know Lewis, our producer, who looks after the replays in the production office. He's rifling through, sorting it out for us. But I think, should we head to a bit of a break now? We'll get back into the studio and try and work out what we've just witnessed here in the final few corners of the final race of the season in ARA Porsche Cup. Don't go anywhere. We'll be with you, back with you shortly.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome back. What a finish that was. What did we just witness there? I mean, talk about coming down to the final, literally the final moments of the final race.
I said on the grid how I thought the grid was really nicely poised because you had Nolda up there, then you had Madsen behind Marriott, and all three of them from the start of that race had a great chance, and you can see the instant there. We were looking at it a little bit, and of course we're not the stewards or anything, so you'll have someone independent to have a look at that instant. It did look a bit like a block for Madsen though, didn't it? It looked like Marriott was moving to the left, and in reaction, Madsen closed.
Sam, for me, I think there might have been, not disputing what you're saying, but I think there might have been a little bit of netcode.
There was definitely netcode. There was definitely netcode as well.
Just a little bit. Here we go. We'll see it from this angle. It just gets tagged by Hammer coming through. I mean, Philip Hammer, no, you know, he's not at fault by any stretch of the imagination here. You see him just coming through. Well, there was definitely netcode on that tag from Hammer where Marriott was just rejoining the circuit. Yeah, there is. And then just look in the background there. Yeah, it doesn't even make contact, but does make contact.
Yeah.
That was definitely netcode. But that, again, that's no fault for Philip Hammer. He's full commitment, and he's just, whatever happens to Maxime, you know, happens. And if he comes along with him, then so be it, realistically.
We've been building up that rivalry throughout
we
the
have.
season, haven't we, between Marriott and Madsen?
We have.
Ever since Monza. And that was the culmination of it. And it was a little bit disappointing to see it come down to that because we wanted them to just go side by side through those couple of corners for the championship.
We were talking about it during the break, weren't we? Whether Madsen and Marriott realised that actually neither of them could win the championship.
Well, if Marriott passed Madsen, he would have won the championship.
Well,
but it was Madsen who didn't have a chance.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe Madsen was blocking there, thinking, I've got to keep this guy behind if I win the championship.
Exactly.
But maybe.
But then
it wasn't for that.
It wasn't because Nicholas Knoll was off into the distance and he'd won it. But in the end, what the history books will show, he won this by a country mile, even though he did, but he didn't because we all saw what just happened, that actually it was nip and tuck behind him and could have gone any way.
And he did only win the championship by 1 point as well. So, which might be our first ever 1 point difference in Apex Racing League as well. I don't think we've ever had a driver like joint. 1 point is tiny. So incredible stuff, incredible championship. Shall I have a chat with a few of our drivers?
Well, let's have a chat with the champion-elect, shall we?
Yes.
Nicholas.
Hello.
Well, that's an incredibly bright and happy sounding on a Friday evening, Nicholas Nold. Congratulations, victory, and by Sam's calculations, our champion.
Thank you. Yeah, the first ever championship I win. Really happy about it. And I don't know, I'm looking at the way how Madsen and Marriott crashed at the moment, and not sure if I feel happy about it that I won the championship that way. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, realistically, I mean, from your point of view, you just needed to put in a flawless race, take the victory, and then just let everyone sort themselves out behind you. I mean, we've just been covering the replays and talking about it, and as we were saying, it was brewing, that rivalry between them, all the way far back as Monza. It was going to come down to, you know, in the mad rush to the line, and that's what ended up happening. But even so, regardless of how you've won it, I mean, by Sam's calculation as well, you've won it by 1 point, as tight as you like. But I mean, coming out of the pit stops, well, coming into the pit stop, first of all, yourself, Pascal Costa, you were bumper to bumper. You were pushing him for most of the first half of the race. And then when you came out the pits and saw you were all by yourself, I mean, surely you must have been incredibly surprised at that.
Yeah, I was really surprised how long Costa was in the pits. He messaged me afterwards that he put in way too much fuel, and after that, after the pits, I think I had a 6-second gap or something like that, and I just relaxed and knew I was fast. I can relax and I'm fast. I'm still fast enough to keep the gap, and I just gotta wait for the guys behind to crash, and that happened.
It did indeed. Oh, it did indeed. Just taking a little look back to your season, what's been, well, obviously, other than tonight, what's been your sort of favourite moments from the season?
I think Le Mans on the last lap where I was in P3 and Madsen and Marriott fought the entire race, and I knew that at one point they were going to crash, and then they head into Indianapolis and they crashed. I won the race, and also that was a thing.
Wow.
That, how do I say it? I don't know how to say it in English, sorry.
Can I ask as well, Nicholas, for that, like, in the second half of that race, when you were in the lead, did you know, like, the championship connotations today? And if you did, how did you resist not just keeping an eye on your F3 screen the entire time? Because that must have been very tense for you to watch what was going on behind.
I watched that at the relative, I think, like every 10 seconds. So I knew that I had to win, and Max Mario needed to finish worse than second, and he was in P2 all the time, and I just hoped for either Maxar to spin or Madsen to pass him, and yeah, happened.
Well, it was an awesome championship put together by yourself. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we say goodbye?
You guys for creating this championship and also doing the podcasts. Really amazing. You're doing a really amazing job of it, and I always like to rewatch the podcast after the race. And yeah, also to everyone in the series, I really enjoyed it, and I hope to be back next year or next season, whatever.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Nicholas. Thanks for making it such an entertaining championship. You are a super well-deserved champion, and well, we're very happy that we'll see you back in the future. Hope that it's very soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I mean, incredibly happy chappy, and can you blame him whatsoever?
No, a very uncontroversial championship winner. I don't think anyone can say that he didn't deserve it.
No.
And that performance today was absolutely stellar. I mean, to beat Pascal, I know Pascal, of course, was up there himself, but his pace, Nicholas, was, I think, on par, if not better than Pascal. So, yeah, just absolutely fantastically done well.
I mean, it's one of those things of you come into this race, you know that you've got to win, and then whatever happens behind you happens. And he did it, and then just let it happen. And, well, should we have a bit of a chat to some of the drivers that are involved in what happened behind? Who should we speak to first?
Shall we have a chat with Maxime first? I feel like.
Yes, go on. I'll let you have the honours.
Okay, Maxime joins us now. Maxime, obviously, I have to say, try to keep the language right, because I imagine you are absolutely gutted right now. We have to go, of course, to the instant. I mean, explain it in your words.
Hello guys, there is no way to be so upset. I know perfectly it was 95% chance to die with fighting with Madsen, so I was planning that, so yeah, it's okay. I just want to say good job to Nicolas. He was so fast today. His pace was amazing. Yeah, my race was good. It was really fun. All the race was really fun. And yes, my plan was to let Madsen by at the end, to have the draft on the long straight line at the end, and yeah, to try an overtake on the last corner, but it works until Madsen, just sent me to the wall, so it's okay. I almost killed Philippe behind, so I hope it was okay for him. I didn't really saw what happened after, but it's just, he can just finish like that after the whole season. He just told me to race win. It's okay. I know this guy now, so.
Well, I'm glad you got a decent mindset when it comes to it, because I know a lot of drivers would be taking it much worse than how you are at the moment, because it seemed like a very tough incident at the end there. I mean, when you look back at the season, at least, I mean, how have you found it? Because you've had some absolutely stellar races, and you know, have really seemingly performed at your top level.
Yeah, it was a really good season. I improved a lot my driving standard. I have gained a lot of pace, a lot of good mindset too. So really good, and I took a lot of pleasure during all the race. It was really fun. Yes, I was leading the whole season, so that was a good thing too. So yes, it's just a shame it's ending like that. I think the 2 penalties I took on the championship at Monza and on Le Mans was a bit hard from the race direction, because I was just driving like usual on the normal pace, and Madsen, yes, was just a bit slower than usual, so it was impossible for me to know he was driving like that. So yeah, it for me, yeah, a bit of bad luck, and the race direction wasn't on my side, I think, but it was okay. It wasn't a huge mistake or something, so it happened. After all, it was fun, and I will keep the good points for the championship.
I am glad that you're going to remember them at least. Maxime, it's been fantastic to have you involved in the championship. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first I want to thank you guys. The coverage of the championship is amazing. It's always fun to watch the replay every time. I want to thank all the driver. It was really fun to drive. All the driver almost have a really good mindset. So yeah, really good. And thanks to my teammate Kenu, he was really fast today. He just did a little mistake, but it happened. And thanks, yeah, to my team to always trust in me. It was really good. Thank you.
So thanks for joining us, Maxime, and yeah, congratulations on whether it's second or third in the championship. Congratulations either way on a fantastic season.
Thanks you.
Maxime Marriott there, taking it very well. I mean, if I were him, I would be not willing to have an interview, and if I was having an interview, I would be saying much harsher language than that.
Oh, yes, and like, he says he doesn't care. I'm not sure if I quite believe him, if he's putting on a brave face, and like you said, I would be a few expletives, but let's have a chat to another driver, caught up into it. Nick Madsen now joins us. Well, what an ending. I mean, we've spoken to, obviously, both Nold and Maxime as well. Coming into those final corners, were you aware that, did you think you still had a chance to win the championship, or were you aware that basically by Maxime winning, he would take it?
No, I knew the outcome from the beginning. If I had to win if I should win the championship, I should be either P1 or P2, and Maxim and Nicolas should be behind me. Otherwise, it will be only second place or lower.
I mean, let's talk us through that final lap there, Nick, because it just looked so frantic, and the pace was so intense, and the tension, it certainly felt for us in the commentary booth like it was there in absolute, a massive amounts. Being inside the car, just talk us through what it was like on that final lap.
First of all, not only the final lap. In my situation, for especially the beginning of the race, was really tough.
Well, of course, you had Keanu Bushman just behind you, didn't you?
Exactly. I had Maxim, if you can say that. He has a weapon behind me, and after I saw, what can I say, a little change in the rules before the race, that Keanu Bushman didn't have a qualiban before the race. I knew it was going to be tough, because to beat a German, first of all, to beat a German guy here on Nordschleife is really difficult. And I have raced against many German drivers, and it's really tough to beat German guys here. So, but yeah, to have Kino breathing me in my neck the first few laps was really tough for me. I kept it cool and clean, and then had to defend somewhere, and also I had to hold the gap to Maxim in front of me, and to be in a Manici sandwich is not always the optimal. And but yeah, I really tried my best, and was a really tough race. And on the last lap, I wanted that second place, so I defend as good as I could. But what I can see from the replays, looks like that Maxim got a hit from behind. But yes, I also closed the door. But this is just tough racing in the end.
So I think what you're saying there, Nick, is about trying to beat Germans at the Nordschleife, which we all know, you know, it's their backyard, it's their playground. What iRacing needs is some Danish circuits, or certainly more Scandinavian circuits into the service to give yourself a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, it could be fun with some Scandinavian racetracks, but in the end, it's just all about practice. Right. And I believe that many German drivers is preparing for 24 hours of Nürburgring tomorrow on Nordschleife. So he's already well prepared for that race. I'm gonna take a little break now after this season, because yeah, it has not been my season in the end, with 2 qualibans taken out 2 times, and so in the end, by losing only by 1 point is what I could get. So yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, it came all the way down to the wire, you know, the final race of the season. I mean, you gave it absolutely everything you got, and I don't think anyone can really take that against you. Nick, before we let you go, and well, I'm sure go and have a beer, because you sound like you definitely need one. Anyone you would give a shout out to at all?
Again, you guys, and also my teammate Andrea Del Piccolo, who secured 2nd place in Pro AM. So really good job to him, and he thanked me for all I have shared with him all the season. And yeah, thank you guys for bringing me back again to Apex Racing. This was Apex Racing League. This track was where I ended my what can I say, story in Apex Racing League for some seasons ago on this track. Not driving too clean, but thanks for bringing me back, and I'm really happy to be a part of this championship.
Well, Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. You've given us great entertainment all season long. That's Nick Madsen, who finished 2nd here today at the Nordschleife. Wow, there was someone who just was really, well, disheartened, happy, weird conundrum. Should we talk to someone else who finished 2nd in their championship?
Yeah, and a very good championship as well from Andrea Del Piccolo, who joins us now. Andrea, congratulations. I mean, P10 today, and in the end, at least from what we're hearing from your teammate, up in 2nd place in the championship. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. And at the start of the race, I was only focusing on trying to defend my 3rd place in championship. But yeah, at the end I finished 2nd, so I got more than expected.
For sure. There was one incident actually I remember on lap 1. At the end of the Dottinger Ho, you seemed to lift out of the dots on that about 3 drivers past. Was that part of the just protecting 3rd place in the championship?
Yeah, because I saw them, they were really close to me, and I did it on purpose, because it was on my, let's say, on my plan to not fight anyone, because I knew that I didn't have the pace.
Work well for yourself. I believe as well, Macperformance, I think, have won the team championship as well, so that must be a fantastic achievement for you guys.
Yeah, I am really happy with that. I feel some bad, I think, because my teammate Nick, I think that he lost the championship only by 1 point. But yeah, we won the team championship, by the way, so I am really proud of this achievement.
and you absolutely should be. Congratulations, Andrea, on a fantastic season. You've been a fantastic addition to Apex Racing League. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, during the season, I have always said thanks to Nick. I will do again today. But yeah, my girlfriend just sent me a message on WhatsApp, and she said that I must thank her too, because she left me race every Friday. I didn't miss a single race. So, grazie Daniela, grazie Dani.
Excellent stuff. Thanks for having a chat with us, Andrea, and congratulations on your second place in the Drivers' Championship and first place in the teams. You really deserve it. Well done.
Thank you very much. See you next season. Bye.
Andrea Del Piccolo there with a fantastic performance at the end of the season. I mean, 10th place for a Pro-Am driver is very good. But I mean, I think we should say, congratulations to Haldus, who taught us for the Pro-Am Championship win. Fortunately, didn't have a chat with Haldus, which is unusual because he's always up for a chat with us, as Haldus. But yeah, fantastic, great that he won the title after a little bit of jeopardy near the end there, and of course Ed Eisenring as well, confirming that amateur championship today as well. Both very deserved champions, all three undoubtedly fantastic champions for this season.
Oh, definitely, definitely, and every championship came down to the wire.
Yeah,
the final round of the season, exactly how we like it, isn't it? Really, I mean, let's. I mean, well, it doesn't end there, does it? We've got a couple of weeks off, haven't we?
A couple of
weeks.
And
then, yeah, I just wish, Sam, there was a way that I could really do with a new keyboard, headset, and mouse, and if there was a way I could just get some for free.
I have one here for you, Tim, because
very convenient. Oh, look! Just suddenly here is a headset, and here is a mouse as well. Sam, if I wanted to know a way to try and win these, how might I do it for our friends at Republic of Gamers?
Well,
and Asus, or even maybe a smartwatch from our friends at Stormforce Gaming.
Well, you would go to apexracingleague.com and sign up to the Asus Apex Racing League Endurance Championship, where those prizes are going to be available, along with £1,500 of cash prizes.
Sorry, how much, Sam?
£1,500
of cash prizes.
Along with plenty of other prizes as well, with SDK and Apex Racing Academy and trophies as well. Sign up. There's only 3 spots left, all in the LMP2 and LMDH categories. So if you want to sign up to that, do so by the end of the weekend. Otherwise, chances are the slots will fill up. So really looking forward to that. You're going to be back in the studio for that one.
I am.
And
can't wait for it.
It will be an absolutely mega season.
Our
6
first
rounds.
endurance championship here at Apex Racing Leagues, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty much everything that we wanted from. And it'll be Friday nights again. So if you watch these, no excuse not to watch that as well.
It is, and you've picked out a cracking calendar for it as well.
Yeah, Le Mans, Spa,
Watkins Glen, love it.
Yeah, Atlanta, Road America.
Yeah, you've absolutely smashed it. Congratulations, well done. Just disappointed. Live stewarding as well to boot.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. It is absolutely packed. It's stacked, and well, talking of packed and stacked, that's all we've got time for here this evening from Apex Racing League's Porsche Cup. Sad to see it go. We've had so much drama.
It's been fun. It should have been a longer season in hindsight because these 8 rounds have been absolutely good.
Oh, so, to be fair, I think if you made it 80, I think they would still be scrapping away like mad. And it still would be drama filled and absolutely epic. But, well, all things come to an end, don't they? I've been Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick. Thank you very much for joining us this season. Congratulations to our champions. And, well, for one last time, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when the Endurance Championship kicks off. But for then, thanks very much for joining us. Good night.